Run for Your Life by Stephen Waller. Text copyright Stephen Waller, 1999. Recording copyright Pearson Education Limited, 2008. Not to be publicly performed, resold, hired, copied, or re-recorded without written permission from the publishers. The big street, with its cafes and shops and people, was behind them now. They walked slowly. It was quiet. Away from the cars and the noise, Kim was excited. She held onto Dave's hand. They were in a narrow street of tall houses and small shops. They heard a radio through an open window. A woman singing. Kim stopped and listened, but she did not understand the words. Her Spanish was good, but not very good. It was the 4th day of their stay in Barcelona. Kim and Dave were 17. They had the same Spanish teacher at school in Liverpool, a big town in England. "Do you want to talk Spanish?" their teacher said. "Well, go to Spain." There were 8 of them from the same school on this holiday. They went to school every morning and talked Spanish. Then, in the afternoons, they usually went out by bus and saw something in Barcelona. Important buildings, famous pictures, old photographs. Something new every day. Today, Kim and Dave were not with their school friends. Dave did not want to go by bus. He wanted to look round the old town. Not the famous buildings. Not the big shopping streets with the banks and cafes and bookshops. He was interested in the little streets behind the old market. The dangerous old town, people said. But Dave was not frightened. "There are dangerous streets in Liverpool too," he said. "You can't see a town or its people only from a bus. It will be exciting." They did not try to remember the names of the streets. They did not have a street plan. At every corner, they stopped and looked. Then they came to an interesting little street. It was very narrow. Very old, they thought. Dave took a photograph. Kim looked up. The houses were very tall. The windows up there were in the sun. But down in the street, it was dark. They came to a little open place with 2 or 3 trees and sat down. It was quiet. Suddenly, there was a noise in one of the houses. A door opened, and a man in a black shirt and jeans ran out. He stood at the open door and looked back into the house. Then he ran across the street. "Is he coming over here?" Kim asked. There was something frightening about the man. Dave did not answer. The man ran to the corner and looked around. Then he ran away. He put something in that rubbish bin. There were shouts from the house. A second man ran out into the street. He had long hair and dark glasses. He stood in the road and looked round. "Perhaps he's looking for that man in the black shirt," said Dave. "And look! He's got a gun!" Kim looked. Dave was right. The long-haired man ran across the street and went round the corner. "Let's get away from here," Kim said. "I don't like this." But Dave was excited. "Let's go and have a look in that rubbish bin," he said. There was a brown box in the bin. Dave took it out and opened it. A small white bag fell out. "Drugs," he said. "We'll take this to the police." "Can I see?" Kim took the little white bag and held it in her hand. She was suddenly very frightened. She looked round. Behind them, there was a man, there, under the trees, watching them. The man moved. Kim looked at the bag in her hand. Suddenly she knew. "Dave, that man, he's back! He's here!" she said. The man was very near them now. He was not very tall, with a thin, white face and dark, dangerous eyes. "Give it to me," he said in Spanish. His frightening eyes moved quickly from Kim to Dave and back to Kim. "You've got it. I saw you. Now, give it back." Kim opened her mouth, but the words did not come out. "Oh, Dave," she thought. "Do something." But Dave did not move. Then she saw the knife in the man's hand. She started to run. She ran into a small street on the left. She ran down 2 or 3 narrow streets, but she did not see any people. She heard him behind her. "I'll soon find some people. Then he won't catch me."